Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
Amity PCA.
810-454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. Season 2 of The Owl House, Episode 9, Eclipse Lake. And if you see a VTuber thingy at the bottom, that's because I got it to work. And if not, I just deleted it and it wasn't working. The eyes are kind of weird and the head tracking isn't the best. It's a free app, but yeah, I'm gonna try this thing out just one time, and if everyone hates it, I'll never do it again. But yeah, this is an okay episode. I like the story stuff is excellent. We get to learn a little bit more about how the door works, how it needs Titan blood, and so we learn some things. It's pretty cool. Then we get some silly stuff. Everyone's palsman hangs out with them now, so it's like they're Pokemon, kinda. Maybe it's kind of distracting just to see them like floating around all the time. Then we have Luce she's goofy. Then when she's sick, she's like extra goofy. So she's like loopy, weird, and they have like a Tamagotchi thing, and it doesn't make any sense why it would even work in this world and why she would even have two of them. We have a pretty cool fight. But everyone's acting weird in this episode. Everyone's like overreacting. Like Kikimori's like acting crazy. And we get, I don't know. We'll just jump into it. We open up and we see some, the good stuff, right? We get Belos and he's looking over some paperwork, some stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of clues here. And he's trying the key on the door and it won't turn on. And we hear him go, "Oh, Golden Guard, are you spying on me?" And he's like, "Oh no, I just, want to make sure you're okay." And he's like, "Oh, I'm fine." Turns around. We see his face. Disappointing. I don't know what I was expecting. I was disappointed with how King's dad looked. And now I'm just super disappointed in the way Belos looks. He just looks like a, I don't know, old white guy. Maybe like some old wizard guy. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this frail kind of old man. I don't know, but he seems more nice, but you can tell behind this nice, like this, it's not necessarily nice. It's more like a cold indifference, which I guess could be worse, but he's like, you don't have to worry about this. Everyone has their place. And then I like how he still didn't tell him that Kikimora attacked him, but he's like, "Why did you even send her?" He's like, "Oh, everyone has their place. She can be doing that. The guards do this. And then well, there's a special plan for you. He's going to steal his body, isn't he?" That's what he's going to do. I'm calling it now. He's going to steal his body so he can be young again. I got a feeling because he kind of looks like him. He looks like they could be related. They're not related, but it looks like they could be. He's going to steal his body. I guarantee it. But he's like, "Oh, there's something special planned for you." And then he kind of walks into the door and he's like, "Oh, but let me help." And he's like, "It's okay." And he just shuts the door on him. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, which I think is pretty cool. But we'll see where they go with that. That's my thing. I think I'm right. Just because that whole like not letting him know what his purpose is, it has to be a body swap. Then we get to freaking Amity, and she's like walking around like going through a checklist, and I guess she got a palsman. It's a cat. Did I miss that, or did they just throw that in here like, oh, she got one too? Because remember everyone else got one, but she wasn't there. But that cat wasn't part of that original group unless it was done some other time. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I don't know where she got this cat. But Willow's there. Remember Willow? And then Gus is there. And I guess they're helping out because Luce is not feeling well. So she's like trying to be like I'm going to control everything. This is a funny little scene. I like Ida. She's super cool.
Woo! Don't mind me. I'm just learning how to turn into Harpy Ida on command. According to these human workouts, you just gotta scream a lot till you force your inner beast out.
I like how she thought Dragon Ball Z was a workout tape. If you watch the Broly movie, that is a workout tape. But she's trying to like learn how to control her owl form or harpy form. So when she's like, "Oh, I'm going to scream really loud and that's going to enter my inner beast or whatever," then we see it's totally Dragon Ball Z. She's like, "Oh, this thing's super old." "Oh, I remember seeing this in the movie theaters." Like, "Oh yeah, okay, you're old." Well, screw you, Amity. But I guess she's worried about Luce. So we see sick Luce and she's like, I guess it's their version of the cold, but it's called like the mold. She's like, I don't know how this is going to affect her because she's human, which is very smart of her because we don't know how sicknesses in this world would hurt her. But she's acting all super crazy, like, oh, I got snakes for arms, and she's being really, really weird. Then she does like this little text message thing. First, I thought it was like, oh my God, they got texting now. But it's like a Tamagotchi messenger thing. Like, you know, the virtual pets. I had a Digimon one. It couldn't send messages, but it would let you know when someone was near. But she's sending her like all these like emoji messages. And then she's like, oh, cool, sure thing, Luce. Instead of just telling Luce, hey, Luce, I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Then Luce kind of like, oh, you didn't get it? Of course, why would she get it? But again, she's sick, whatever. But she keeps like saying about, I'm a good girlfriend. I'm a good girlfriend. What the heck? Didn't you just start dating? Just because you date someone doesn't mean you're a couple. Did I miss something? Did time pass? Or, you know what I'm saying? Just because you went on, imagine doing that. Dudes, don't ever do that. Don't ever go on a date with a girl and they'd be like, oh, this is my girlfriend. No, do not do that. But I guess, just because you ask someone out, they're automatically your girlfriend now. But then they're like, oh, we gotta and then everyone else is there and they're trying to help out. But I guess the mouse just sets off and it's doing some more, the diary. Again, they never explain how this stupid thing works. So we see that now that we know what Belos looks like and we know what this guy looks like, this is Belos. There is no way in hell that this guy isn't Belos. But he's like, oh, I figured out how to get to this land. The blood of the Titans is what can power between the worlds, like the portals between the worlds. And I need to harvest this. And that's how I'm going to get through it. Because like the vines, that's where the veins of the Titan where there's going to be like lakes. And that's like not necessarily lake water. It's from their blood. It's like, oh, we got to go after it so we can make the door. Okay, let's do that. But then freaking Luce's like, oh, I want to go too. No, you're sick. You're not going anywhere. It's going to be Ida, King. And then Luce is like, oh, I volunteer because I'm a good girlfriend. She says that like 50 times in this episode. That's a little much. But Ida's on her. She's going to go. So they got their team. It's going to be Willow and Gus and Hootie are going to take care of Luce. And then they're going to go on the adventure. Gets us up in the mountains. But I guess at the same exact time they figured this out, the bad guys figured this out. I hate that. They did that a lot in She-Ra, where they would be going after this secret thing that was hidden away, and we just found it in the archives, and the bad guys would be on their way there too. That's stupidly convenient. But we see that they're using those abominations, those mechanical ones, and Kiki Moore is completely out of her damn mind. Oh, I'm going to show him, and then I'm going to show the Golden Guard, and he's a little punk. And it went from like a kind of sneakiness where it's like, ooh, it's behind the scenes. No, she's just straight up lets everybody know she hates everybody. Like, she's gonna kill this kid. And like nobody cares. The other guards don't even say, hey, he's our commanding officer. Like, I don't know how the structure works, but wouldn't the Golden Guard be pretty high up there? Like, you're allowed to openly talk about him that way? I don't know. He's there. Oh my God, I forgot his name. Go call him Golden Guard. I can't believe I forgot his name. It's a stupid name. He's like, okay, I'm going to sneak in there. But I guess his little palisman keeps showing up. His little birdie. It's a robin. I got that wrong last time. It's a robin. And cardinal. It's a cardinal, not a robin. See, I got it mixed up. He starts talking to it, but then like Kikimore's like, I thought I heard something in the woods. Like, oh, I'm going to sneak around somewhere else. Runs into Ida and Amity. They're walking through there and they're talking. And of course, it's that whole like, oh, I'm the best girlfriend ever. And it's like, dude, shut up. Nobody cares about that, Amity. It's ridiculous. And she keeps getting those stupid messages on her stupid beeper or her Tamagotchi, which wouldn't work more than anyone who remember has these things back in the day. They had the range of like maybe 30 feet. That's like on a good day. So this thing can like go across the country. It's stupid. But I like how his palisman just pulls him out there and he's like, oh, and then of course they think it's a spy or something. He's like, oh, I'm just a regular spy. And Ida's like, I recognize that stupid voice. It's like, why does everyone keep saying I got a really crappy voice? But of course it's him. And Amity's like water bending. I get it. Mae Whitman is done the voice. I think that's her name. And she played Katara. So they're like, it's kind of like, okay, it's weird. I don't know. They could have thought of a better way to do this abomination thing instead of making it water bending. Captures him. And okay, so they got a prisoner now. They're going to make their way into the caves. And I like how he's trying to explain like what this place is and everything, but then Ida and freaking King are they're weird. Okay, we get it. They're silly. They do dumb things, but this is important, right? So let's be serious. But they just can't be serious. They see some drill down there, and then Ida's like, "Oh, maybe if you shoot this drill at me, it will activate my harpy powers." That's a good idea. But I guess since these are like the veins of the Titan, like everything, the magic doesn't work. It'll bounce all around. Like it can't penetrate. Then Amity just catches the magic. She's a complete utter badass. Like through and through, Mega Witch, S tier, unstoppable. When did that happen? It's like in Avatar Last Airbender, from like season to season, they got better and better. They became like gods at the end. They're so powerful. The same thing happened here, but without any training. It just happened. Remember when she was struggling with the training wand? Now she's an absolute master. No, I'm not buying it. But they're like, oh, I did thought this was funny and it's stupid. There you go, King. Use your thing like for echolocation, but how would he know how to do that? Like you would have to have sensors in his ears to know how to do that. So he just does a yell and it doesn't do anything because he doesn't know anything. B plot's dumb. It's just Willow and Gus being stupid. Oh, we got all these CDs. They're going to have like soothing music, but what's whales? They look terrifying. Let's do underground K-pop. Oh, it's so awesome. So it's just that kind of stuff. It's really dumb. Let's listen to it together. Yeah, that's really going to meld well, you freaking idiots. So they're making their way down there, and it's really funny because Ida's like, oh, I remember Luce telling us about this guy. She says she met someone that was very unique, and he had a really crappy blonde hair, and he had no magic, and he was kind of a twerp. And like she like says something, it's really like demeaning to him. But it's like, okay, whatever. But they see that the others are there too. But like, okay, let's be sneaky about this, and let's not jump into conclusions here and like get in trouble. Ida's like, oh, let's make a distraction. Yeah, let's do that. So Ida and King run off, and they're going to do a distraction. So it's just Hunter, that's his name. Hunter and Amity are there, and then they start talking. And of course, she's like she's so much Katara. It's a little weird. Remember Katara was super distrustful? It's in hearing her voice, and it just sounds like Katara should be in this series. But he's like, yeah, let's work together. We're not working together. He's like, hey, you can't fail. I can't fail because there's somebody who thinks we're special and we can't let them down. So it's like, oh, he's using that against her. Then she gets another text message and she doesn't know what it means. And then Hunter looks at it, he's like, oh, it's obvious, come back with the results because it looked like a graph and then like a cutting thing. Oh, then it's over. Like Luce would really say that. And if someone is putting you like that, they're putting what do I want to say, qualifiers of like, oh, we're not girlfriends anymore if you don't do this for me. That's ridiculous. But I guess when you're like first starting out, she's trying to do everything perfect. So she kind of like is getting those guilty feelings about like, oh no, what if I fail Luce? Then I like Ida's plan.
Watch this. I'll be the ghost of miners past and spook 'em out.
You look like one of my hairballs. Let's just do the trench coat thing.
Like she's going to become the ghost of the caves. I love that. It's beautiful. But she's like, oh no, but they just end up kind of getting caught. Amity just starts the fight. Like she shoots a fireball out there, but since it bounces around, it can like, it's all over the place. So it gives them the opportunity to sneak into the cave, which I guess works. But we get back to Luce and she gets another message. And it's the guy's like, hey, it was a successful and not successful because there's this thing called fool's blood, and that's dangerous. Got to stay away from the fool's blood. I did get some of the actual blood, but everyone on my team basically died. And like, oh damn. So she's like, oh, I gotta warn them. I gotta tell them. She tries to send a message. Of course, she doesn't have her beeper thing on her anymore because it fell. And then everyone's listening to music. That's such a stupid thing to do. But then they're walking through there and they see they're like, oh, is this the king, the Titan blood? And Hunter's like, no, that's fool's blood. You got to stay away from that. But they're like, oh yeah, and listen to you so you can have it all to yourself. So they want to mine it, but it like causes a little like earthquake thing and they fall in. Then it's like, oh, I guess it's just us. Kikimora and her crew starting to show up. He's like, come on, if you just let me, if you don't want to have me help you, let me escape, because what they're going to do to me, they're going to kill me too. So she feels bad. She lets him loose. She's like, okay, let's work together. Then he like goes, haha, you fell for it. Pff, hits her. Then he takes off. I want to get all the blood for myself. And he runs off. What a jerk. But at the same time, how Luce trusted him. So I don't know if that's Hunter. I know you want to please the Emperor, but at the same time, if someone's putting all these qualifiers on you to like further love, that you got to get out of that relationship. Yeah, that can be parental, that can be boyfriend girlfriend, that can be just friends, that can be all kinds of different relationships. No one should be putting those kinds of things, especially if they know if it's making you feel bad. Then she's like, oh damn. We see Kikimora, she shows up, so she thinks it's just Amity. They capture her pretty easily because they just overpower her. And it's funny because then we see her like be a complete utter badass later on. I don't know. They're like, oh no, we have to you stay here. I guess there's this other guard, which is a woman because we can hear her woman voice, and it has like a blue feather. So she's like the captain of this little group right here. And it's really funny because I thought, okay, just let these people be evil. She's straight up super evil. She's like, oh, this is boring. Grabs Amity, just throws her down the pit. I didn't even care if she died or not. That's so funny. I love it. But I guess Ida caught onto like her staff, grabbed onto like the sides. So they're able to catch her. I mean, the most luckiest catch of all time. But look at little freaking Albert. He's like getting crushed. Oh no, little dude. I can't believe it. King's like, maybe if you turn it to harpy form, you can totally save us right now. I can't control it. Have you tried just talking to it? She's like, well, of course I have. Well, not really. It's like, just talk to it. But Albert's starting to give out, so she has to. She's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Well, okay, whatever. Let's make a deal. Fine. So she does it, turns into the harpy lady. And then King's like, what did you agree to? She's like, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm like, oh, well, first I thought, oh, is this going to be something like significant? It ends up being something stupid. It's funny, but it's stupid. So she's flying around. She's itching for another fight. She wants to know like her limits. They go on the rail cart things, and then freaking King's like, oh, video games, rail carts are fun. And then they have their little like abomination wheel one. They're so stupid looking. And they even said like, when they took off, what is going on? I like this little spin attack she does. Dude, anyone who's played Darkstalkers knows this attack. That's freaking Dimitri's freaking cape dive. But we see, since Hunter got ahead of them, he's in there and he's digging at the ground. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. There's no blood, and yeah, so you can just leave. There's nothing here. So he's completely like on desperate crazy. Like he's in his desperation has caused him to be like, oh no, I guess it's all done now. And she's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just digging my grave so I can like bury myself here. I can dig one for you too. And it's like, okay. I thought that was like, oh my God. So he like totally just gave up on life. He's just not going to do nothing. But then, we see that you can't fail on the little thing. She's like, oh no. But then King looks at the message and he's like, I don't know what any of these means, but that looks like she's going to be sad if I fail. It's like, no, he turns it over and it's like, oh, you're really rad. Like that's a D at the unbelievably stupid. That would be like me, someone writing me a note in another language I don't understand, and then me pretending to know what it means. Don't do that. If you don't know something, be like, hey, Luce, these are super cute and these pictures are funny and all that, but I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So if you would let me know what these mean, I can kind of figure it out. But she's like, oh yeah, Luce would never be that bad. Then she starts thinking like Luce. She goes up to Hunter, hey, maybe, you can go out there and you can find somebody who doesn't make you feel this way. And, I used to be like you. I used to think every day was an opportunity to prove myself, to have purpose. But you'll find people who just accept you for you. And then she kind of gives him the hand on the shoulder, but he sees the key. And there's blood in the key. And he's like, oh. Then he gets like, oh, he's going to try to snatch it. Then we get this pretty cool fight. I wish I could play the whole thing because it's the anime. This is where all the money went to. Like it jumps up frame rates. Like it's full blown like 60 frames per second. And yeah, we get a pretty cool fight. I do like how even though Hunter's being bad, his little cardinal is like helping him because that's my dude. If he decides to do bad things, it doesn't matter. He's my master. I'm going to do what he tells me to do. So he gets his staff. And I do like this. This is I wish more shows did this, when Hunter, who is the right-hand man of the Emperor, he should be really strong at what he does. He should be an excellent fighter. He's starting to do like his little teleport dashes, but he's like, oh, real staves are weird because he's so used to artificial magic, so he's not quite up to his abilities using this staff. So it makes perfect sense why Amity should be able to best him, because she knows what she's doing and he still has that like newbie feel. Even though he knows all these great attacks and everything, he's very new to this style of magic. So we get this really cool fight, spin around. He keeps trying to grab the key, and she keeps knocking him away and everything. And she's like using all of her, she makes like a abomination fist. Here's the thing. It straight up went from, oh, you can make things come to life, to straight up just water bending. That really should have been a different kind of magic. Like this should have been closer to like the necromancer who can like res a golem. But then like, oh, I know you can make like bone spears and stuff like that, or like, blood sacrifice like magic like with necromancy. But this abomination thing kind of went in a completely different area now. So it's like they kind of changed. I don't know. But she's able to trap him like in a bubble, and she's getting away. But he breaks out. He comes after her. She makes like a dagger, like she's gonna kill him. And he gets his staff and he's like, hey, I'll tell you what. You just give me he's like, it doesn't matter what you do. I know where Luce is. I know where the key. I know you have the key now, so I can come after you. I don't know why they didn't do this in the first place, because why wouldn't he think she had the key? I don't know. But now he knows for a fact they have the key. So he's like, so I'm going to come after you. So it doesn't matter. But it would have been really funny if she's like, oh, that would be if I don't kill you. Because if I kill you, then no one knows I have the key. And then there you go. So she had a knife at his throat. I don't know. I killed the guy. You push me this far. You don't mess with me. I'm not one to be trifled with. But she gives up the key to save Luce, to promise to leave Luce alone. He's lied to you multiple times. Why are you trusting him? I trust him in the dirt. So she gives up the key like a doof, and he goes, hey, I appreciate it. I actually really do mean it. I do appreciate you doing this for me. So he takes off, and then Ida, 1 second away from Ida being there. 1 second. Ugh, Ida, if Ida would have just shown up, she could have totally kicked his butt. But she's like, oh, I'm itching for a fight. And she goes in there, and she's already gone. God dang. To get back home, and Luce feels all better. Oh, super gross. She has like all that fungus growing out of her head. Like, hey, you're not an amphibia. You don't get to have funky stuff in your hair. But she's all healed up. They get home. And, of course, the big hug from my most awesome girlfriend. Did they have to have hourly affirmations of each other? Like justifying each other's existence? You're an amazing girlfriend. No, you're an amazing girlfriend. Oh, my girlfriend's amazing because she thinks I'm amazing. No, you're amazing. I don't like it. It's a little goofy. You've been dating for 1 day. Calm the hell down. But Ida's like, are you gonna tell her that we couldn't find any of the blood? You lost the key. And like, are you gonna, we get this stuff's important. Do you want me to tell her? Or you're gonna tell her? Then we kind of don't get an answer. We get over to, she goes, it's not so bad because she saw some of the Titan blood on her hands. Because I guess the key busted where the eyeball was. Then we see Hunter with some, and he sees a little bit of blood on the key. So he hasn't gotten back to Belos yet. His little cardinal pops up. He's like, oh, I understood you. Hey, thanks for sticking by me. Like you were there for me. That was cool of you. It's like, oh, that's your name. That's really cool. What other things can you say? And so I guess he made that bond with his talisman. Okay, I like that. Some good stuff. Some goofy stuff. People again. Luce did this in another episode where it was serious, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be a skull person. It's more important than that. I know Amity wants to help Luce, but it's almost like I want Luce to think I'm amazing. You do things for people, but are you doing it for her? Are you doing it for your own validation? It just seems a little of both. Again, they're only 15. It's their first time dating anyone, so they think it has to be the most important thing in the world. I get that. Kiki Mori's been thwarted so many times. I don't know. When is the King's, the Emperor's Coven gonna she saw they don't know this is Ida. They just saw the harpy version of her. I don't know if they're gonna be able to put two and two together, but they need to just go stomp the outhouse. Like, bring everybody. like all those powerful, like those the people, the 9 or whatever they had. Yeah, they can get her. But I don't know. Good episode, bad episode. It leans more towards the good than bad. I think I gave it a 7.9 or 7.7 over on my TikTok. I did a mini review. But if this VTuber thing worked out, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. If it's not there, then it didn't work out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm trying to get through these things pretty quickly. I did have my eye surgery. I don't know. I'm going back to the doctor. They're going to look at it again. Hope I don't need another surgery. But thanks for watching, guys. It's a ton of fun interacting with you guys. It's hard for me to read the comments. I have to zoom in on my laptop so I can read or use a magnifying glass. But I love every comment. The shares, the likes, all that stuff means a lot to me. So thanks, guys. I think I have 1-2 more episodes, and I want to be done before the new episodes come out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, you can contact us on any of the social media platforms in the description down below. And while you're here, be sure to click on one of the videos over on the right.